Yeah, Prashanti Mati, whenever you're ready, you can start, Mati.
Sure. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All worship Prabhupada and Gurudev. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Ashtaprayeshu Abhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtake. Today we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 18. Prithu Maharaj means the earth planet. Text 1. The great Saint Maitreya continued to address Vidura. My dear Vidura, at that time after the planet Earth finished her prayers, King Prithu was still not pacified, and his lips trembled in great anger. Although the planet Earth was frightened, she made up her mind and began to speak as follows in order to convince the king. Text 2. My dear Lord, please pacify your anger completely and hear patiently whatever I submit before you. Please turn your kind attention to this. I may be very poor, but a learned man takes the essence of knowledge from all places, just as a bumblebee collects honey from each and every flower. Text 3. To benefit all human society, not only in this life, but in the next, the great seers and sages have prescribed various methods conducive to the prosperity of the people in general. Text 4. One who follows the principles and instructions enjoyed by the great sages in the past can utilize these instructions for particular purposes. Such a person can very easily enjoy life and pleasures. Text 5. A foolish person who manufactures his own ways and means through mental speculation and does not recognize the authority of the sages who lay down unimpeachable directions is simply unsuccessful again and again in his attempts. Text 6. My dear king, the seeds, roots, herbs, and grains which were created by Lord Brahma in the past are now being used by non-devotees who are devoid of all spiritual understanding. Text 7. My dear king, not only are grains and herbs being used by non-devotees, but as far as I am concerned, I am not being properly maintained. Indeed, I am being neglected by kings who are not punishing those rascals who have turned into thieves by using grains for sense gratification. Consequently, I have hidden all the seeds which were meant for for the performance of sacrifice. Text 8. Due to being stocked for a very long time, all the grain seeds within me have certainly deteriorated. Therefore, you should immediately arrange to take these seeds out of my standard process, which is recommended by the acharyas or sastras. Text 9 to 10. O great hero, protector of living entities, if you desire to relieve the living entities by supplying them sufficient grain, and if you desire to nourish them by taking milk from me, you should make arrangements to bring a calf suitable for this purpose and a pot in which the milk can be kept, as well as a milkman to do the work. Since I will be very much affectionate towards my calf, your desire to take milk from me will be fulfilled. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prashanti Mati. Hare Krishna. Vamsi and Prabhu, whenever you're ready, you can start, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So yesterday's Grace Nimraj Prabhuji, he gave an overview on the previous chapter, chapter 17, where the summary on that chapter was the citizens went and complained that they were actually dying out of starvation because the earth was not producing enough sufficient grains and food for them to sustain themselves. And because Lord Vishnu or Maharaj Prithu is an empowered incarnation of Lord Vishnu, and it is any responsible position. Bhagavatam will explain in the later chapters that anyone who takes a responsible position must protect their dependents. It is a duty. And because he had taken the position of a king, it was his duty to protect. And while he was contemplating, he understood that the earth was not actually producing sufficient grains and foods. So he took his bow and arrow and he was chasing Mother Earth. And Mother Earth took the form of a cow and she started fleeing from Maharaj Prithu. And then she confesses that you should be protecting me also because I am also a living entity who is controlled by the three modes of material nature. But why are you chasing me and trying to kill me? But Maharaj Parikshit said that, Maharaj Prithu, he says that no, you should be producing grains. And then she starts offering a lot of prayers, glorifying the activities of Lord Vishnu's incarnation and his transcendental position. And that's where all the prayers ends. And now Mother Earth is going to continue with some reasons why she is not actually producing. Those are the first 10 verses of this chapter, chapter 18, where Maharaj Prithu, the title is Maharaj Prithu milks Mother Earth. And why we will see why in the first 10 verses, why she starts giving reasons as to why she is not helping the citizens. In the first verse, the great saint Maitreya Rishi, who's actually narrating this pastime to Vidura, he's saying, my dear Vidura, at that time, after planet Earth finished her prayers, King Prithu was still not pacified, and his lips trembled in great anger. Although planet Earth was frightened, she made up her mind and began to speak as follows in order to convince the king. In text 2, she says, my dear Lord, please pacify your anger completely and hear patiently whatever I submit before you. Please turn your kind attention to this. I may be very poor, but a learned man takes the essence of knowledge from all places, just as a bumblebee collects honey from each and every flower. Hare Krishna. There is no purport for this, but Srila Prabhupada and our acharyas explain that we should try to take the essence. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that in one of his many instructions, he says that we should consider even the worst enemies of the enemies as our dear friend if they come to our home. An Atithi or a person who is coming to our home, even if that person is our enemy, we have to treat them nicely because we have to take the essence of knowledge from all places. That is what Prabhupada is saying in the translation. Just as a bumblebee collects honey from each and every flower. Because the bumblebee sees only to take the nectar. So we should try to see the good in everything and everyone that we are surrounded by. At least that is what we need to strive for. I'm not there yet. But that is what Bhagavatam is trying to teach us. And that is what Mother Cow is telling. You're trying to punish me for the temporary situation, but you should see the essence of why this is happening. So sometimes we are also put into some situations in our devotional journey or even in our personal life. We should try to cultivate, pray to Sri Guru and Gauranga that this situation has been created in our life for us to purify, for us to become purified. Because our acharyas say that if we think like that, because even in the 11th canto we will see the great, I forgot the name of the sadhu who sees every situation, he sees a guru in that situation. He sees a guru in the fire, he sees a guru in a prostitute. Every single situation he sees an opportunity for him to take an instruction for his own spiritual journey. My spiritual master, he says that if we cultivate this attitude of seeing the essence in every situation, we will learn from every single situation. He says we will learn infinitely. It is not that we learn maybe one point. Every situation we will learn infinitely. And that is what Srila Prabhupada is saying, bumblebee collects the honey. I don't want to find fault in anybody. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, if I want to find fault in somebody, let me first assess myself. I am honeycombed with so many faults. Who am I to see faults in others? So we should try to see the good in others. Like Prabhupada is saying here, bumblebee collects honey from each and every flower. We don't want to, like a fly. Like Srila Prabhupada says, only flies go and try to see the garbage always. But the bumblebee is busy taking only the honey. Even if there is so much garbage and there is a small nectarian flower, the bumblebee will just go and take the honey from the flower and just leave that place. We don't want to concentrate on other things. In text 3, to benefit all human society, not only in this life but in the next, the great seers and sages have prescribed various methods conducive to the prosperity of the people in general. This is a very contemplating Prabhupada's purport that we have to try to apply in our everyday life. Prabhupada is saying in the purport, Vedic injunctions are known as Shruti, and the additional supplementary presentations of these principles are known as Smriti. So two divisions are there, Shruti and Smriti. But Prabhupada is saying human society should take advantage of instructions from both Shruti and Smriti. If one wants to advance in spiritual life, he must take these instructions and follow the principles. And Prabhupada is quoting Srila Rupa Goswami from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. If one poses himself as advanced in spiritual life but does not refer to Shrutis and Smritis, he is simply a disturbance in society. This Prabhupada even quotes in one of the Bhagavad Gita purports in chapter 7 or probably some other chapter. Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatri Vidyam Vina Aikantiki Hare Bhaktir Utpada Eva Kalpate. Like without referring to Shrutis and Smritis, if we cultivate to practice Bhakti, the Pancharatrika Vidhi, like practicing deity worship, if I try to practice Bhakti on my own whims, then it is simply a disturbance, not according to what I think Bhakti is. One should follow the principles laid down in Shrutis and Smritis, not only in one's spiritual life, but in material life also. See, this is really, Prabhupada is really making it a point here. And we will see what Prabhupada is trying to say. What does he mean by material life? And Prabhupada, see, this is the mercy of Prabhupada. He gives example from Manusmriti. In Manusmriti, it is stated that the women should not be given independence, but should be given protection at different stages of her life. When she is young, she should be given protection by father. Then later, when she gets married, by her husband, and then later on by her elderly sons. Presently, women are given full independence like men. That is not the nature of women. Like we were hearing from His Grace Dwarakadesha Prabhu and Mataji when they came here a few weeks ago. We cannot artificially try to impose something on that is not natural for somebody. Right? Prabhuji and Mataji are explaining, like men are always rational, but women are always emotional beings. We cannot change that. I cannot artificially try to become emotional, or women cannot become artificially try to become rational. It's not our nature. So Prabhupada is saying, that actually we can see that such independent women are no happier than those women who are placed under guardians. This is a fact. We should always give them protection. And if people follow the injunctions given by the great sages, Shrutis, Smritis, they can actually be happy both in this life and the next. Even within Bhagavatam, we will see the chaste women who have sincerely followed their husbands in serving them. They also get the same benefit as their husbands also. There's so many examples you will see. Even in Prithu Maharaj's pastime, so many examples. In the 9th canto, so many examples. Yayati Maharaj, so many examples are there where the wives are so chaste and they submissively serve and hear from their husband. The wife also gets the same benefit. But if he tries to become independent, no, I know what is best for me, then it becomes very difficult. And this kind of injunctions is not just for women, it is for men also. Prabhupada often quotes in many purports that we should consider every woman as our mother, right? And especially while Prabhupada also writes in one purport that it is very difficult to control in a society like Krishna consciousness to always separate men and women. But we should be very cautious and careful. Prabhupada often warns while interacting with the opposite sex, whether it's man or woman. Because everyone is following certain principles, it is very easy to get attracted to the opposite sex. That is why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very strict, not just as a sannyasi. Even when he was a grihastha, as Nimai Pandit, he never used to even look at a woman in the corner of his eyes, for Acharyas explain. He will give proper respect to the wives of the other devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He never used to go and try to impress them, no. So we should follow in the footsteps of our Acharyas. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not different from our Acharya. He is our Guru. He has come in the form of a devotee to show how to be a devotee in this world, not just by simply memorizing verses, trying to impress that how much I know in Shastra. That is not bhakti. But the bhakti is also how we portray ourselves in front of every single devotee. It is for our good. Our acharyas are instructing this. Why Srila Prabhupada is saying even in our material life we have to follow. There's so many injunctions. We don't have to go and read all these literatures. Prabhupada has given everything in Bhagavatam for us in his purports. Everything. Even the injunctions in Manusmriti, Prabhupada has written. We should not cheat. We should be truthful. Just for some flimsy pleasure, I should not try to cheat somebody. Right? So because all these tendencies are there, because I'm a conditioned soul, all these tendencies are there within us. That is why Srila Prabhupada is again and again making it aware for us. It is a duty of everyone to mold his life in such a way that he will have a profitable next life. Prabhupada is writing in the end of the purport. We have to do all this so that our next life, wherever we are, we will be under the protection of Krishna. Text 4, one who follows the principles and instructions enjoined by the great sages of the past can utilize these instructions for practical purposes. Such a person can very easily enjoy life and pleasures. Srila Prabhupada is writing, Mahajano Yena Gatasa Panta urges us to follow in the footsteps of great liberated souls. In this way, we can receive benefit in both in this life and next. We can also improve our material life simply by following the footsteps of great Mahajans. See, Mahajans, there are 12 Mahajans that Srimad Bhagavatam explains in the 6th canto, where Yamaraj explains who are the 12 Mahajans, which includes himself. But for us, they are Mahajans also, but our Acharyas are also our Mahajans, because they have showed from their life how to live a life in bhakti. Whether we are a grihastha, sannyasi, vanaprastha, whatever, brahmachari, whatever ashram we are in, how we should live our life. How Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur lived a life as a grihastha, and how such a staunch devotee he was. How Srila Prabhupada lived his life as a grihastha. What all day-to-day activities he did as a grihastha. We should try to hear all these things and try to apply as much as possible. We cannot imitate them. because they are all Nitya Siddha devotees. They are coming from the spiritual world, but we can try to follow in their footsteps. That's what Prabhupada is saying. We should follow in their footsteps. By following the principles laid down by great sages and saints of the past, we can very easily understand the aim of life. Because these great liberated persons, they don't have anything to do with this world. And Krishna is sending them time and again to show us that the reason we are here is to reform and get out of this place, not to make a permanent situation in this place. And also how to do it, because it's not easy being in this world and practicing bhakti. So how did they do it? Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a High Court judge, such a busy person. How did he practice bhakti? What are the things that he do? We cannot imitate. If it is Dincharya, his time, according to the different times during the day, what all things he did, it's unimaginable. We cannot imitate. But we can follow in his footsteps by not wasting a single moment. He never wasted a single moment, even as a grihastha. He had 10 children. He had a wife. Never wasted a moment. At least that principle we can take in our life. Never waste a moment. And this Prabhupada is saying, because if we don't follow the great liberated persons, then we are simply chewing the chewed that has already been chewed. Prabhupada is quoting Srila Prahlad Maharaj, which will never make human society happy. Because the government, which is actually leading all the different states and countries of this world, they are just going according to their own minds. And if we follow such people, we are going to simply chew the chewed that's already been chewed. There's nothing going to be anything new, nothing satisfying for the soul. So there is no happiness. So Prabhupada is saying, in order to make the human society happy and prosperous, we should accept the standard methods given by liberated persons, even within bhakti. Every day, Srila Prabhupada writes so many purports. Everyone who is striving to practice bhakti must rise up early in the morning and chant the holy name. There are so many devotees who are even more sincere, who get up and perform Mangala Arati at home and then chant the holy names. Our obeisances to them. But if we are at least able to rise up early in the morning and chant the holy names, we are following in the footsteps of our acharyas, because this is what our acharyas did. Prabhupada, whichever place he was, whichever time zone he used to travel, he will never leave whatever activities he was doing. A Prabhupada disciple was sharing a memory that they were all in Vrindavan, and Prabhupada had traveled from across the world somewhere, and he had just landed in Vrindavan, and that day they had to go out for preaching and Harinam Sankirtan in Vrindavan. And all the devotees were going the whole day, they were in Harinam Sankirtan and preaching activities, and Prabhupada also traveled along with them. And all the devotees were exhausted. That evening and night they were exhausted, completely exhausted. And this devotee who was narrating this, and he was telling that I think I should go and sleep now. I don't have any energy to do anything. But then while he was lying down, he thought, oh, I have some more rounds to chant. I should chant my rounds. So he goes to the temple in Radha Shyam Sundar area back in the days in 1970s. And he goes and sees a single devotee, because Prabhupada in those days, he wanted 24-hour kirtan, which was again fulfilled by Sripad Ayendra Prabhu in the later years. But only one devotee was sitting and playing some mridanga and singing for the pleasure of the deities. And he was trying to chant there, but he couldn't concentrate. So he was trying to go around the temple, and he was doing parikrama around the temple, and he was trying to chant. And while he was chanting, he came across the window where Srila Prabhupada was sitting inside the room. And he was trying to peep inside and see what Srila Prabhupada was doing. Because everybody, this is maybe 1 or 2 in the morning. All the devotees are completely dead, sleeping. This whole day was completely draining. And this devotee is peeping inside, and he saw Prabhupada is holding the dictaphone in his hand, and he is translating Srimad Bhagavatam. And this devotee's consciousness completely changed. And he was thinking, what am I doing? Why did I even have such a thought that, oh, I'm so tired and what should I be doing, etc., etc. And look at Prabhupada. And in his ripe old age, he's translating Srimad Bhagavatam for whom? Not for himself, for our benefit. At least we can rise up early in the morning and chant 16 rounds for what Srila Prabhupada has done for us. Even if our mind is not there, we should try to do this. Srila Haridas Thakur, when he was in his ripe old age, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu every day used to come from, in the morning time, he used to go and take darshan of Lord Jagannath and bring Mahaprasad for Srila Haridas Thakur, because Srila Haridas Thakur never used to go to the temple because he thought he was so fallen that I should not enter into the temple. So Lord Jagannath comes in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, brings Mahaprasad for Srila Haridas Thakur every day in the morning. And once Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes and gives the Mahaprasad to Srila Haridas Thakur, and Srila Haridas Thakur is struggling and striving to chant in his ripe old age. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asks, what's happening? What's going on? And Srila Haridas Thakur is telling, my body is here, but my mind is not here, my dear Lord. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asks, why? What is happening? He says that I am not able to complete my Sankhya, my chanting of the holy names. And Mahaprabhu says, you have done the reason why you have incarnated into this world. You have done that portion. You have inspired so many people to chant and take up to the holy names. Why are you still trying to chant 300,000 names every day, which is 192 rounds? You have done your part. You don't have to stress yourself so much in your old age. He says no. And Srila Prabhupada writes in that purport that if we cannot imitate Srila Haridas Thakur. We cannot chant 192 rounds, but we can take the footsteps. We can follow in his footsteps. How? Srila Haridas Thakur will not take even a single grain into his mouth without chanting his prescribed number of rounds. We can take that principle. Srila Prabhupada writes, we can follow in his footsteps by chanting minimum quota of rounds that Srila Prabhupada has asked us to chant in the morning before even taking a single grain in our mouth. This should be our aspiration. And this is following in the footsteps of liberated persons. Text 5, a foolish person who manufactures his own ways and means through mental speculation and does not recognize the authority of the sages who lay down impeachable directions is simply unsuccessful again and again. At the present moment, it has become fashionable to disobey the unteachable directions given by acharyas and liberated souls. See, even though our acharyas time and again come and give so many instructions, how many of us are really following? To how much extent are we trying to follow? Prabhupada is saying, consequently, we have to take direction from the liberated persons because we are conditioned souls. Prabhupada is saying we have these 4 defects. We have tendency to cheat. We have tendency to commit mistakes. We are always illusioned and we have imperfect senses. Because of this fact, we should try to follow the liberated persons. We should try to take every day. We may fall in between few days, but we should strive in the association of devotees to try to follow in the footsteps of the liberated persons. And Prabhupada is saying, see, this is Prabhupada's humility. Although a follower may not be a liberated person. Prabhupada is saying, I may not be a liberated person. He is, but he is telling for us, I may not be a liberated person. But if we follow the supreme liberated personality of Godhead, Krishna, our actions are naturally liberated from the contaminations of material nature. If we follow in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees, then we are protected. One can imitate, Prabhupada is quoting Lord Chaitanya. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya says, by my order you become a spiritual master. One can immediately become a spiritual master by having full faith in the transcendental words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and by following his instructions. We have to strive to follow the instructions of Lord Chaitanya. Text 6, My dear king, the seeds, roots, now she's giving reasons why she is not actually producing. She's saying that all the seeds, roots, and herbs and grains which are created by Lord Brahma in the past are now being used by non-devotees who are devoid of spiritual understanding. And who are non-devotees? Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that the planet Earth in the shape of cow here in submits that all the utilities that have been given by Krishna, which is supposed to be used in sacrifice for Krishna's satisfaction, the non-devotees are actually utilizing for their own sense gratification and not for spiritual understanding. So everything belongs to Krishna and everything can be used for his satisfaction. And Prabhupada quotes from the 7th chapter that there are 4 different kinds of non-devotees. One is the Mudha, who are asses, Naradhama, lowest of mankind, Maya Apakrita Jnana, those who have lost their knowledge to the power of illusory energy. Krishna's illusory energy is so powerful. Krishna's Bahiranga Shakti, it's as powerful as Krishna. So we cannot try to defeat Maya by ourselves. It's impossible. As soon as we think we are advanced, we are crushed. All these persons are asat, are non-devotees. Non-devotees are also called Grihavrita, whereas a devotee is called Dhritavrita. Very interesting. Prabhupada is saying Dhritavrita, meaning we have to strive to become Dhritavrita. Please, I am not there yet, because Prabhupada writes in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, who is Dhritavrita, who is the determined devotee? Eshantva antagatam papam jananam punya karmanam. All the Eshantva antagatam papam, all the sinful tendencies within the heart are completely washed away. Then we can practice determined bhakti. That's called Dhritavrita. The whole Vedic plan is that the misguided conditioned souls who have come to lord it over material nature should be trained to become Dhritavrita. This is the mood of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, is to train all of us to come to the point of fixed bhakti. Because otherwise, some days we chant, some days, oh, the weather is so nice, let me just sleep for extra time. Let me take, oh, there is so much prasadam left over, let me just gobble all the prasadam. Bhakti goes down. If we do something that is not favorable for bhakti, bhakti slackens. It's not determined bhakti. Where we travel somewhere else, jet lag, I'm not able to wake up, gone down. That's not determined bhakti. Determined bhakti is Srila Prabhupada's example. Wherever he is, his dincharya will be stable, fixed. He will not move from what he has been practicing every single day. Whichever part of the world he is there, just because a doctor told him, oh, Swamiji, you are practicing too much bhakti. You have to take care of your health also. Prabhupada took that instruction so seriously. Devotee of disciple of Srila Prabhupada is explaining that even when he went to the extreme cold places, Prabhupada, he will do his morning walk within the building of the hotel or wherever he is staying. Any time, whichever place he is, he will follow. So we should try to follow in his footsteps. And Prabhupada writes that we should work only for Lord Vishnu's satisfaction, and all the activities for sense gratification should be stopped. Such people will gradually become anyone who is performing activities. Bhagavatam explains in the 1st canto that all our activities should not be done for our sense gratification, because we'll become poverty-stricken at heart, because our heart will not be full. If they continue like this, Srila Prabhupada is writing, he's quoting the 12th canto, that at the end of Kali Yuga, people will be so polluted that there will be no grains, wheat, sugarcane or milk. In next verse, Prabhupada will write actually, we will start eating our own flesh or the flesh of others. That's been predicted already. And it's already happening in some places. Unfortunately, even though we have the means to produce grains, still people are trying to eat the flesh of other humans also, unfortunately, in some places. In text 7, his mother cow is continuing to pray, my dear king, not only are grains and herbs being used by non-devotees, but as far as I am concerned, I am not being properly maintained. Indeed, I am being neglected by kings who are not punishing these rascals who have turned into thieves by using grains for sense gratification. Consequently, I have hidden all these seeds which are meant for the performance of sacrifice. Now, Prabhupada is writing that a huge arrangement exists for production of large-scale industrial and agricultural products, but all these products are meant for sense gratification. Therefore, despite such productive capacities, there is scarcity because the world's population is full of thieves. The word chori bhute indicates that the population has turned to thievery. Because Prabhupada is saying men are transformed into thieves when they plan for economic development for sense gratification. Anything that we do for our own pleasure, we are no better than thieves. This Bhagavad Gita also explains. It is also explained in Bhagavad Gita that if one eats food grains without offering to Krishna, who's Yajna Purush, he is a thief and liable to be punished. Simple thing that all of us can follow. The population has the right to use goods only after offering it to Krishna. This is the process of accepting prasad. Unless one eats prasad, he is certainly a thief. This is again from Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada is quoting. It is a duty of governors and kings to punish such thieves who are not offering everything to Krishna and maintain the world nicely. If this is not done, grains will no longer be produced and people will simply starve. Prabhupada is giving all the reasons why these things are happening. If we simply offer everything we have to Krishna, all problems are solved. Text 8. Due to being stocked for a very long time, all grain seeds within me have certainly deteriorated. Therefore, you should immediately arrange to take these seeds out by the standard process which is recommended by the Acharyas and the Shastras. Prabhupada explains in the purport that Bhagavad Gita recommends that we perform yajna, sacrifices. And by Prabhupada is quoting Bhagavad Gita. In the 3rd chapter, Krishna explains this. By performing sacrifice, we get sufficient rainfall. When sufficient rainfall comes, food grains are produced. So in Kali Yuga, the only sacrifice recommended is Sankirtan Yajna. So we should chant the holy names wherever we are, not just in temple. At home and anywhere we are, we should try to chant the holy names. All problems are solved simply by chanting the holy names. If there is no sufficient funds available at home or whichever place of worship, whatever maintenance is being done, simply by chanting the holy names, all problems are solved. This conviction we should have. Otherwise, why Prabhupada has to time and again say, in Kali Yuga, the only sacrifice recommended is Sankirtan Yajna. Only sacrifice. Not Sankirtan Yajna and something else. Chanting the holy names is the only sacrifice. All problems are solved. Material and spiritual. Otherwise, Prabhupada needn't have to say this again and again. If one goes to a desert and uses a tractor, there is no possibility of producing grains. We may adopt various means, but it is essential to know that planet Earth will stop producing grains if sacrifices are not performed. So whenever we see rain coming, we should think that it is a gift of Krishna, that somewhere devotees are doing Sankirtan Yajna. At least we can see like that. The earth has already explained that because non-devotees are enjoying the production of food, she has reserved food seeds for the performance of sacrifice. And Prabhupada is saying, as far as the approved method is concerned, it is enjoined in the Shastras that intelligent men, yajnai sankirtana prayar yajanti hi sumedasaha. By practicing this Sankirtan movement and by so doing, they shall worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Chaitanya, whose bodily complexion is golden and who is always accompanied by his confidential devotees to preach this Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. Simply by chanting the holy names of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we are actually worshipping Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Prabhupada is writing, a thief is a thief and he is liable to be punished. Unless the people of this world take to Krishna consciousness, there will be a scarcity of food and much suffering. That is why we see It may be funny, but we see that even if there is a temple or a center of Krishna consciousness, if there are so many other facilities that is missing, still prasadam is ample. The food offered to Krishna is sufficient even for people who are coming, and to distribute to so many people who are coming to the place of worship. Why? Because Sankirtan is happening. If as soon as Sankirtan is stopped, the chanting of holy names is stopped, the glorification of holy names is stopped, everything is stopped. We may do so many other outreach activities, but if this thing is not happening, everything comes to a standstill. Prabhupada's face in so many places. In text 9 and 10, now she is giving instruction. We'll stop with this. Now she is giving instruction to Prithu Maharaj that, O great hero, protector of living entities, if you desire to relieve the living entities by supplying them sufficient grain, and if you desire to nourish them by taking milk from me, you should make arrangements to bring a calf suitable for this purpose and a pot in which the milk can be kept, as well as a milkman to do the work. Very interesting. We'll see so many divine personalities come in the future verses. And Prabhupada writes in this purport, these are the nice instructions for milking a cow. The cow must first have a calf, so that out of affection for the calf, she will voluntarily give sufficient milk. So, just like a mother cow will voluntarily give milk for the calf. There must be an expert milkman and a suitable pot in which to keep the milk. Just as a cow cannot deliver sufficient milk without being affectionate to her calf, the earth cannot produce sufficient necessities without feeling affection for those who are Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna. Earth cannot produce sufficient necessities without feeling affection for those who are Krishna conscious. So this is the analogy the Prabhupada is giving here. Why she is asking us to clean. Even though the earth's being in the shape of a cow may be taken figuratively, the meaning herein is very explicit. Just as a calf can derive milk from cow, all living entities, including animals, birds, beasts, reptiles, and aquatics, can receive their respective foods from planet Earth, provided the human beings are not asat, like previously discussed, non-devotees. If we are becoming devotees, we should not worry about anything. Prabhupada is saying all necessities are provided for a devotee. This example of a cow is so important that when back in the days in New Vrindavan in the 1970s, my spiritual master explains that many devotees are given this service of going and milking the cow. This service was given, including himself. This service was given for milking the cow, of how to affectionately go and milk the cow. And certain cows don't like anybody. They will kick anybody who comes. Very funny, some of the stories that we hear of how the devotees were serving the cows there back in the 70s in New Vrindavan. So we'll stop here. In the future verses, we will see how Prithu Maharaj fulfills this instruction of Mother Cow. I'll stop here. Grandhraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON Guru Varga ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Vamsi Prabhu. Wonderful class, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.